Hey, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Today I'll be going over a game called Frozen Flame, which is an open world survival game that has both online play and single player. In this fantasy-based game where your character roams, the world is slowly dying, and it's up to you to find the source and use the frozen flames in order to save it. In Frozen Flame, there are countless enemies to fight, as well as some amazing locations to discover. I've been following this game for a while now, and I really wanted to do it justice with this review, so I put a lot of hours into playing the game before I posted this. As far as I can tell, I've completed all of the quests currently in the game. This includes both the main campaign and the side quests. For the rest of this review, I'm going to give you guys a glimpse of what the gameplay is like and let you decide on if it's worth playing or not. This video will also start with early gameplay and work its way up to end game. Let's go over the combat in this game. The combat's simple. There's a dodge, there's a block, and there's a swing. If you're using a melee weapon, you'll also be able to do a dash attack as well as a jump attack. Character creation allows you to change your gender, hair color, and skin, as well as give your character tattoos. After you're done with this process, you'll be introduced to the world of Arcana. Once you step foot in this new world, you should start gathering resources so that you can survive. The game will give you some tips along the way, which you can see on the left side of the screen. You can also find NPCs scattered throughout the world that will give you quests or allow you to trade with them. At this point in the game, I decided it would be more fun just to go explore a little bit. I was able to find a ritual close to the starting zone. Rituals are just timed challenges that grant a good amount of XP once completed. I find rituals to be a great source of XP, and it allowed me to level really fast in the beginning. Once I completed this challenge, I was granted over a full level of XP, which I could then use for skill points. I'll be going over both the skill tree and the cooking mechanics more in depth later in this video. The combat in this game is not perfect. Their hitboxes aren't great for enemies. There are some invisible walls and invincible enemies you encounter, as well as both the dodge and the jumping button are the same. You're able to change the key bindings for this on PC, but with console I've heard you cannot. Although I believe the combat is lacking in some areas, I think that the gathering in this game is actually perfect. Getting resources to build or craft gear isn't a grind, but is also not necessarily easy to obtain either. For building, you'll start with twig, which is weak, then you'll go to wood, which is a little stronger, and then eventually you'll be able to go to stone, although they don't have that currently in the game. For gear, it works the same way. Although we currently only have stone and bone, there's eventually going to be even more. Once you upgrade your gear, you can then explore the world. You'll find a lot of enemy camps, you'll find dungeons, mini-bosses, NPCs with quests, and a lot more. Enemies will increase in difficulty as you progress in the game, so towards the beginning it should be easy to clear out camps. Every enemy camp has a chest. Once you defeat all the enemies, you'll be able to open it. These chests can have a variety of items ranging from weapons to coins. There are several NPCs throughout the world that you can buy items from. As you venture into more difficult areas, the gear they sell will be much better. Some enemies throughout the world also have a chance of dropping unique items, such as this helmet. Now that we've gone over the basics of this game, let's go more in depth on the core features. Altars like these are spread throughout the world and are used to level up the character. Unlike other RPGs, there's no class-based system. A lot of the skills you'll benefit in Archer will also be down both the mage and warrior paths. When I was around level 12, I decided to restart my talent tree for this reason. I set up this skill tree to fit both a staff and bow build, as staffs have good AoE while bows have good singular damage. There are also several active skills within this tree. Some of them include the taunting one, there's one that makes you go invisible, and there's a healing one, which is what I chose. I was able to use a healing skill in order to beat harder enemies such as this boss. Cooking is one of the most important features in this game, as it's your main way of healing and also allows you to buff your character. By combining two ingredients together, you can create unique recipes or use your cookbook for past ones. This recipe is a meat and fruit kebab. The meat gives me bleeding resistance, while combining the fruit gives me fire resistance. You can take this food in the middle of combat, although it's on a 180-second cooldown, but the healing speed is pretty fast and it applies the buffs right away. Upgrade stations are also tiered just like building and gear, where you have a regular workbench and you can work your way up to a stone one where you can craft even better tools. Workstations aren't able to be placed on the ground themselves, they have to be placed on foundations, which can be twig, wood, or stone. Twig foundations will always decay no matter what you try to do, so you should try to upgrade to wood as soon as possible. Once you've gathered enough logs, you can convert them to planks. This process might take a minute as every plank is made individually and building and objects take multiple planks to make. Once I had enough planks, I created a reinforced chest. I got the blueprint for this from a trader. You're able to pick items up really easily in this game and just replace them down, so here I'm doing some reorganizing of my house. Workstations will slowly decay if they're not in a shelter, so make sure that you build the entire shelter and not just the walls. There's some light farming elements in this game which give you essence, which is required for potions and also for summoning bosses. Also in multiplayer, you're able to restrict access for the doors so that only you or friends can open them. Now let's get into the part of the game that will take up the most of your time, which are quests. There are a lot of NPCs around the world that will have quests for you. These quests will give you both rewards and XP. Some of these quests might be killing an enemy or retrieving an item. Here we have a puzzle quest where I read a hint and had to copy the music on gravestones. And this was after completing one of the harder quests in the game, where this guy gave me some really nice rewards. He gave me a ring with a lot of elemental protection, which is important in this game, and I also received a black bracelet from the boss I fought in the dungeon. Now let's take a look at the main campaign quests. After completing the starting quests, you'll be led to a large portal that requires 4 artifacts to activate. In order to get these artifacts, you have to kill 4 bosses that will drop them. Each boss will be marked on the map, and you'll have to get unique items in order to summon them. After a boss is defeated, you can open up their chest that will have a rare item. Even if you fail the first time, you can always go back as they never despawn once summoned. Once you retrieve all 4 artifacts, the quest will take you into this portal. Once you arrive at this location, you'll need to defeat another boss, but this one will be much harder than the others. Eventually you'll end up here, which is the Sanctuary of Kronos. When you complete all this and follow the main quest some more, it will bring you to a new biome, with different and more challenging enemies, as well as a lot of new gear to obtain. Every biome follows the same process, where you kill the enemies and summon the portal to get to the main boss to continue to the next stage. In every biome, there's a lot to do, as there's a completely new map to explore. And you don't have to worry about losing bases or gear, as you can always access old biomes through portals. Now I don't want to go too much more in depth, as I want to avoid spoilers for those that want to play. Now that we're towards the end of this video, I'd like to give you my honest thoughts on if this game is worth playing or not. The game itself looks beautiful, and for the most part is well optimized, minus 1 or 2 boss battles. The pacing felt really nice when I was playing, and I really enjoyed the exploration it gave me as well. However, there are some issues that this game has. One of these issues being the combat, as I feel like it's slow and sluggish. I was also looking forward to online PvP and large public servers, but those were not included either. However, they do have a roadmap on Steam that shows them fixing these issues in the near future. As for the content itself, I thought it was great, but I thought it was lacking in quantity, as there was only 2 biomes, and when I went to go to the third, it said not available yet. I explored both biomes for an additional 4 hours just to figure out if I was doing something wrong, but I came to the conclusion that the third portal is not working yet, or maybe it's just a big bug. Overall, I really enjoyed playing this game, and I look forward to see what they can do in the future. But that's all for now. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button, sub if you haven't already subbed, and turn notification bell on if you want to see more in the future. Anyway guys, that's all, and I'll see you next time. Peace.